Congresswoman Williams, the question tonight, many people are asking, what would John Lewis do? And what will you do?
So, Lauren, this is that good trouble that Congressman Lewis told us. Sometimes we have to be willing to speak up, to stand up when we see something that is not fair and not just. We have an obligation, a moral obligation, to find a way to get in the way. And we're seeing that with our legislators who stood up today and they voiced our concerns and they spoke up on behalf of the people. But this is not enough. We have to keep going. And we know that when we look at the civil rights movement, sometimes we had to go to court, sometimes it took the federal government, and this is Jim Crow 2.0, and we're not stopping here. We will see them in the courts, and I will see them in Congress as we continue to push to pass H.R. 1.
And H.R. 1, which will move through the Senate as Senate Bill 1, is something that was on the mind of the president today in the press conference. It's very clear that for that to get through the Senate, something's going to have to be done about the 60-vote threshold rule in the Senate. Do you think this puts more pressure on that in the Senate?
The American people are on our side, Lawrence, and people are standing up and making sure that senators understand they don't care about a procedural vote or a procedural move to get a bill passed through. What we want are senators that are willing to speak up on behalf of all of us. And Democrats showed up to vote. They showed up in force. The rules are trying to be changed to prevent us from winning again. And it's going to take Democrats in the United States Senate to stand up for voting rights. This is not a regular bill going through. This is literally the right to vote. We should not have to choose which state we live in if we want our vote to be counted. But that is what's happening right now with the voter suppression tactics that we're seeing all across the country. And that's why we need H.R. 1, because regardless of your zip code, your right to vote should be protected.
Lauren Groh-Wargo, possibly thanks to some of the intervention from big corporate interests in Georgia, there were some adjustments in this bill. Some bad things were removed from the bill. They did not try to block Sunday voting anymore. But at the same time that they were removing that harmful provision, they were inserting a new one, which basically pulls the Secretary of State out of the process, out of overseeing the voting in Georgia, which looks like, to my eye, possibly the worst thing in this bill. But what is the worst thing in this law?
Well, it's a good question, Lawrence. And sitting here in Congresswoman Nikema Williams' district, I can tell you we are not stopping fighting. And like you said, the fighting we've already done with our members of Congress lifting this up, Georgia Corporation sort of dipping their toe in. I wouldn't say they were in the fight exactly, but dipping their toe in. We got a lot of bad out of this bill. So I want to be clear to the Lawrence O'Donnell viewers, we're going to elect and re-elect Raphael Warnock. Do not fear. Georgia is competitive. Georgia voters know what's going on. They're angry about it, and they're going to fight for their right to vote. So we're going to hold the U.S. Senate here in Georgia. Have no doubt, Congresswoman Williams and I will be sure that happens. Secondly, they're going to be in court, and we're going to use this as evidence to back up Congress's efforts on H.R. 4 to get this state back under preclearance. They're proving to America they have racist intent, trying to criminalize giving water to voters, and that there's going to be the push for S1. And the worst part of this bill, I agree, the power piece on sort of disempowering the Secretary of State and the county is bad. But really what this bill is, it's a voter intimidation bill. It's a license to racially profile and challenge voters, coming on the heels of a horrific Asian American targeted hate crime. Basically, anybody now can challenge voters willy-nilly based on the color of their skin or what their last name is, and it makes it much easier. But guess what, Lawrence? We have lots of lawyers, we have lots of power, we have lots of grassroots advocates. We will walk with voters to make sure their rights are defended, and we will push back hard when folks are challenged on their right to vote. We preserved early vote in this bill. We preserved vote by mail because of everybody's activism. So we need people to go to stopjimcrow2.com and get in the fight, because your phone calls, your social media, it matters. And this bill was on track to be so much worse, but rest assured, we're going to keep fighting.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.